Hi, Dav here, and today we have a new episode in the art review series. And today we'll be checking out the work of Nyte, Nyte. Now, I actually found this artist first, I believe, via YouTube, and because they do have an awesome channel, and I do think they post fairly frequently. This one was posted like 5 hours ago. So they're a new channel, and they post a lot of I think it's mainly in time lapse of their process, or painting process, and it's super short. It's like a minute long, maybe 2 minutes. But you can tell by the style alone, it's so freaking just painterly, big brush strokes. It almost becomes kind of blurry just because they don't bother going into so much detail. Like, they're very zoomed out, I think, when they paint. It reminds me of another artist named... Sorry, let me just write their name down. I think it's Pluvium grandis something. They also have... I think they do stream a lot on YouTube as well. Pluvium grandis. I just see more bigger brush strokes. I mean, they can go further and refine things. Sorry if the mic peaked there, but anyway. Yeah. Like, there's sort of an art to it where you just stop just before it gets too much. I mean, it would still look good if you like pursued it even more by adding more detail, refining things, but even at I mean, look at how you can still see this brush stroke over here, right? And you can even see like the brush spacing in a lot of the edges. Some people see it as like an ugly thing, but I don't know, it has like its own mark. Like, it's, you would only really see it in digital mediums, you know, whenever you would play around with the spacing of your brush shape. And I think it adds a bit of character to your work as well, and some natural texture, right? When you combine all of the strokes, seeing those brush spacings here and there, it just creates like a layer of grit, right? So you don't even have to use like super textured brushes. Just the brush spacing alone will be enough. I do notice, let me just zoom in here. I can see a lot of color dynamics. I'm guessing it's the luminosity. I don't think it's the hues. Basically, you're changing the lightness of whatever the color is. And just by turning on that feature, color dynamics, it adds like a layer of thickness. It almost looks like oil paint sometimes when you zoom out. You don't have to put it everywhere, but you know, it just adds a bit of that solidness, and it makes your work less digital looking as well. But yeah, look at the brush strokes. It's so like you can tell they're not zooming in too much. It's alla prima the word? I don't know, but big brush strokes, very efficient. Now clearly this is a Rey from the Evangelion anime. I do like the white circle in the background. Kind of looks like a halo. And if I'm not, I think I'm correct in saying this. I think she's the mom in a way. I mean, she's kind of like a love. It's kind of weird. It's a love interest, but at the same time, it's technically a clone of Shinji's mom. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but who knows? But yeah, super hot. And right, it's just enough. I mean, even the details over here. There's like a green, like I'm not sure what they are. Maybe it's part of the armor or something. But instead of drawing like the edge, it's just a dash of paint, and that's it. Because you're not really like focusing on it too much from this view. So you want to just suggest it, right? So I guess you see this a lot in Nyte's work, or Nyte's work, where it's kind of left unfinished, but it's actually finished, right? Like, you don't have to go refine all of your edges. You can just be suggestive with your strokes. Let me just go back here. Now this one looks a little different to me. It's just because the brushes are a lot smoother, but I think the process is still the same. They're not over. We can still see the brush spacing. in a lot of these areas. I love the eyes, very in anime-esque, which is interesting because they've found a way to be able to create anime art and combining that with a more painterly look. Another artist that I would recommend who kind of does a good job of combining like the anime style with this like painterly approach is ahriii something. ahriii, ahriii. Is it triple I 7 something? Yeah, and maybe a little bit of dino illus. Dino underscore illus. This one's pretty cool too. Let's check this one out. Yeah, just a lot of big brush strokes. This one seems a lot more impressionistic. That's because of the amount of like particles you can see, like the dots and everything, which is very common in like actual like oil painting paintings in like the Victorian sort of time, whatever. Yeah, it's hard to sometimes make it out, but maybe that's the plan, or the actual intention is to sort of blur things out, not via using a blurring tool or something like that, but to just make the brush stroke super vague so that it creates like a blurring effect, right? But you look at how the eyes are, like it's hard to see the edges when you zoom in, but when you zoom out, you can kind of do it yourself as the viewer, not necessarily as the painter. I mean, you can make it, but the viewer can sort of fill in the gaps as to where the edge is. The cool thing about this approach is you don't have to be so I was gonna say you don't have to think too much. I mean, you do think. It's just more freeing, I think. Especially if you're not into line art. I mean, look at even the way this hand was done. 2 values only, right? You have like a light side, a dark side over here in the orange. But you could just make out the volume of the hand, like how the fingers are kind of situated or folded. Just with just these 2 values, right? So that's pretty cool. Let me just zoom out again. Yeah, even from this view, you can still like zoomed out, you can still see the brush spacing. Again, I know some people don't like that, but I think it adds something, right? It adds. I think there's another guy who does it. I don't know. Greg Rutkowski, maybe a little bit. I don't know. Maybe him. Let me just write his name down. Because he also has a very painterly style for his like concept art / illustration stuff. Although I think he goes more into detail. Rutkowski? Is it K-O-W? Rutkowski. Okay. Now for the eyes, I do notice they're not overcomplicating it. Meaning it's just like one color for the... like the iris. Oh the green part on the outside and the dark green on the inside, and that's it. And then the one value or one color for the lashes. But look at how the face isn't even that super smooth, right? You can still see some artifacts from maybe previous strokes. I'm not sure if they're doing this all in one layer, maybe not, who knows. Oh, by the way, since we featured their YouTube channel, we're gonna kind of go through their process quickly, just because their videos are short anyway, so maybe we'll see more about or what their process is. You just have a lot of space or areas where it sort of fades out, you know. Oh, I think they're using one of their brushes is it's set on the direction, so you will often see this kind of thing where your brush is basically fixed on one place, but it just rotates in this like, it doesn't follow the pen tilt of your pen. It's just like one area or one flow kind of brush. You often see this artifact or feature being you can basically see that often, right? Same thing here on the top blue side. Pretty cool. So I think she's a wizard. You can tell she has like a hat here on her head. No shit. I'm not sure if it's fan art. Like even the hair, it's as impressionistic, as efficient as say the face, the body. It's fairly equalized because sometimes in anime like art, you would see the eyes and the hair. They would often have like the most detailed, the most rendering. But I think for Nyte, it's more about the full picture, which I do like, right? It's fairly consistent. Now this one is kind of the body, the shape reminds me of Yizheng something. Fuck, I'm forgetting their name. Yizheng K maybe. Yeah, hopefully I'm saying the name right. Yizheng. I'll have to verify these names after the recording is done, but I think they mainly paint in Photoshop as well. And they have this sort of style. Although they don't do a lot of like anime stuff. It's more like this where it's semi or even realistic. But look at that. Now this one does have a lot of texture. It's not just from the color dynamics, it's from the... Because oftentimes you have like a texture feature or box or option in either Photoshop, XPPen, so they do have this canvas-esque texture to just add more. Or maybe it's not from the brush, perhaps it's from like an overlaid kind of thing. Maybe it's on a new layer and then it's set on some kind of layer mode and it imprints itself basically to the whole canvas, who knows. But yeah, look at how cool this is. It feels like a sketch just because it doesn't look as complete, but I would consider this kind of finished. I mean, look at that. And look at how they can suggest like the face without adding too much detail. They're very efficient with their brush strokes. I mean, look at the hair over on this side, on the left hand side. It's kind of vague, but it kind of makes sense because it's kind of in the area in shadow anyway. So it's kind of hard to make out edges. But it shows you don't have to be so detailed with, say, the hair, right? Or some parts of it anyway. Let me just drink some coffee. Sorry. Tropico Blanca. It's the perfect like warmth. Oh, she's hot. Who this? Come on. Oh, I do see like an outline a little bit, but it's added after. I don't think it's part of the original line work. I think it's more of an additive line. Like it's a pseudo line. It's painted in the edge. It just helps indent certain edges, kind of like in this armpit over here. And even that line, I think they're using some kind of ellipse brush, but it also has color dynamics turned on. So that's pretty interesting. Look at this edge over here, right? It's not a clean cut. It's not, you don't see like a smooth, hard line. They allow the brush spacing of the brush to show itself. And again, if you compile all of those things together, I think it just, oh, they have another brush, it looks like. The custom brush, this sort of thing. It adds like a dash. The brush spacing is very obvious. It has like that amount of distance. But I guess it adds a bit of that hatching effect. You can see it here as well. This one looks like a pin. That's their version of like a hatching. Very interesting. And you look at the pinks, it's not like, look at how some of the shadows, like for example this part over here, right? Same thing on this side. It's very saturated. Reminds me of, well, I've seen this a lot in the art reviews I've done, but there are artists who like to just amp up the saturation of their shadows. Not all of it, but just some parts. There's gonna be like the light area, right? And then there's gonna be like a where the shadow begins, and then beyond the shadow, it's still part of the shadow, but it's gonna be a little more like this color, more saturated. So light, and then like a more desaturated shadow, and then a more saturated shadow. It just makes it more even or something, or makes it look less, I guess, boring, you know. But yeah, pretty cool. And again, look at the facial features, very simplified. You don't see a lot of like a rendering. it's like one brush stroke to say it all in a way, and the shapes are very obvious. Yeah, even the insides of the ear, very, very cool. Very artsy. So she's eating some kind of cupcake, maybe, with her tongue out. Yeah, let's check this video first. We'll go through the YouTube as well, but let me just see this painting process. And I like how the painting is kind of zooming out very slowly. So they're kind of editing it that way, right? To kind of make it more cool and artsy and cinematic. But yeah, look at that, big brush strokes, very vague in the beginning. So I guess definitely this Nyte person, artist, is way more of a painter than, say, a drawer or a draftsman, right? They like the playing with values mainly, or yeah, mainly. And then if they have to add some lines, kind of like the pink sort of elf we saw previously, then they will add some lines, but it's not like the beginning thing. They just start with this painting approach. Yeah, and this process is kind of slow, you know? You see a lot of like over painting happening as well, but it shows you that it's not like... I did say one brush stroke to say it all, but to get to that one brush stroke, it may take multiple strokes until you find the right, or until it feels right. Because I think for this kind of approach, you have to go with your feelings a lot, because you don't always have like a finished foundational like drawing that you can just render. Basically, you're kind of doing everything from scratch, so you don't really know oftentimes where the painting is gonna go when you have this more painterly approach. Unlike drawing, well, we always start off with some vagueness, right? But I think it's even more apparent when you paint or focus more on values. So they did add the eyes later on. So in a way, they were kind of blocking everything else and surrounding. You know, I call it framing the face, because I just see a lot of artists do this, where because it's just easier. I mean, you could start drawing the eyes, or you could just draw the hair first and the face and then draw the eyes. So you're kind of surrounding everything else and then limiting where the eyes can be. But look at that. It's hot. Num num num. Okay, let's just see more stuff. Let's scroll further down. This one, is this Reze? I think she's from the Chainsaw Man, because I saw her in the trailer, I think. The purple hair chick with the choker. Am I right? Look at that. Again, are the eyes complicated? I don't think so. Everything, even the underside of the nose, very demure. Very textured. Again, color dynamics turned on. You have this canvas texture again. The brush spacing is very apparent. I'm guessing she's in the pool, because I know there's a scene in the trailer anyway that where she's kind of in the pool enticing Denji or something. Same thing with the hand. Look at how they're not even drawing or painting the fingers. It's just two values. Usually there's like one finger kind of standing out, or along with that one finger, maybe the thumb, to kind of just make it look like an actual hand. But you can clump other fingers together, which I think is a great way to save time, and it's more natural. We don't always like spread out our fingers, right? So it kind of makes sense. Is that? Oh, this is the girl from Frieren. I believe she got axed by what's the guy's name? I forgot, the orange hair sort of guy. Yeah, I think she died, sadly. Again, with the pseudo line, you can see it over here. It's done after to just indent that edge. Look at that. It looks really good. It looks so freaking good. Even the eyebrows, one brush stroke. I'm guessing these ones are done with pen tool. because I can see like a shift in the angles. Yeah, it's so cool. Fuck. Sorry. Even like the background and everything, it just looks real. Oh, even the underside of this horn. Look at that. Like the light is being bounced from the ground or from the environment into the underside of this horn. So this side is going to be a little more orange. Look at that. Same thing with the hair, very loose. Wait, no. She's not the one who died by the axe. I think, well, she killed herself basically. Well, because of Frieren. So, because I think she was able to command her with some kind of like magical tool. Like this. It's the guillotine, aura, the guillotine something. Oh, it's right here. Fuck me. It's over here, sorry. Aura. It's aura? Aura? So. Kind of sad, but you know. So they do paint in Photoshop, I think. I think this is some kind of plugin. Looking at the color like wheel. I believe that's some kind of, oh, it's colorist, obviously. Jesus, it's right there in the name. But yeah, and I do like that consistency too in their work. Yeah, I think it was one of these. I think it was Freya and this specific painting that kind of got recommended to me on YouTube, and then that's how I stumbled upon their work. And look at that, it's just so freaking cool. I'm not, I think she's some kind of Chainsaw Man character too, like a devil or something, who knows. I think this is supposed to be, who's the chick from the Spy X family? I like the hand, very painterly. Yeah, man. You know, actually from this view, this one looks a little bit like AI. Just because of how like refined it is from this view. But if you zoom in, you can actually see more of those, the brush strokes, right? Look at that. Oh my, oh. And maybe, I do think they sharpened the image as well, because you can kind of tell there's a little bit of that happening. And I think it helps. Because it helps see you more of your brushes, the edges of your brush, of your brushes. So you don't want those to go to waste, right? I think this one has, it's one of the pen pressure options in Photoshop, where it kind of squiggles around. Yeah, this one is more pen tilt, or if not, initial direction, like this red mark here. Look at that, come on. And I guess that's it for this art review. It's basically, that's a gist, I guess, of their work. I like it. We can go further back, but yeah, you can see like a jump in progress or in the consistency. Even in the past, they were already kind of impressionistic. They're not wasting too much time, I guess. They're very efficient with their brush strokes, but over time, I think around this painting is where they sort of locked in like a style or an approach in a way. Yeah, I think it was this one. Wait, let me see their YouTube channel. Oh, maybe it was this. Also from the Frieren anime, the one with the big, yes. Yeah. But let's just see a painting well, we did see one. I recommend you just, if you want to see more of their painting process videos, just check out their YouTube channel over here. And they also have their X link pasted in their bio as well. So I guess they're trying to archive their painting process, which is great. I do recommend you record your own process, just because sometimes you forget certain techniques by accident, and it's nice to have like a record of them in video form, right? So pretty cool. So I guess that's it for this art review of Nyte. Hopefully you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. This one's kind of cool too. It's from I forgot her name. From the Dungeon and not Dragons, but Food and Dungeons, Delicious Dungeon, something Delicious in dungeon people. I mean, did they have to draw the braids? No, they just, you know, one stroke, and that's it. And you kind of get it. So, yep, that's it. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.